Hi, I'm Greg Tito with The Escapist. I'm here with Hugh Bynum, Global Brand Manager for 4A Games, and we're going to talk about Metro Redux.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about the decision to take the success you guys had with Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light and remaster it and make it all brand new.
Yeah, the studio, I guess, found themselves in quite a unique position because normally these remaster projects, they get outsourced to a third party because the original studio that they're off doing something new. In this instance, 4A Games, they're a really small team, so they got a team working on pre-production on some new titles, but they had this production team looking for something to do, so we were, well, let's remake these games. I mean, Metro 2033 was, even the PC version was pretty advanced for its time anyway. It was just begging for a next-gen port. And then we also saw this really interesting opportunity, and we'd made so many improvements to the engine for Last Light. We'd refined so many of the gameplay mechanics that we saw this opportunity to actually go back and remake Metro 2033 and apply all of those lessons that we'd learned. So use the new tech, use the new gameplay enhancements, and remake the game like a new director's cut. So very different, I think, from your normal remaster. So it's been a really interesting project.
There are people who say that like the director's cut of Blade Runner, for example, was like the definitive version. People only remember that version or the extended edition of Lord of the Rings. Do you feel like the Metro Redux is going to be the definitive version of both Metros?
Yeah, I really do. And you've always got to be very careful when you revisit content because, you know, Greedo did shoot first. You can't go back and rewrite history. So
this is not the special edition George Lucas version of Metro.
It's really important that we kept the tone of the original game the same, because some of the things that the changes to the mechanics did within Metro Last Light was they definitely made the game, I guess, a little bit more of an action-oriented title, and it strayed from the kind of pure survival horror roots of 2033. And that really inspired some of our thinking. So although we take advantage of all the improved gameplay mechanics, so much better control scheme, you can now do these silent kills and takedowns and customize your weapons. All of those things are in there, but we didn't want to lose that survival horror feel of the original, because I don't think fans would want the definitive version to play in a different way. So that's where we came up with this idea of these two play styles, so Spartan and Survival.
Right.
So Survival is like the Metro 2033 way. You're much slower to swap between weapons, you're slower to reload, resources are more scarce, the enemy AI is more aggressive, it's more perceptive, so if you get seen or spotted, they're much quicker to react. Whereas Spartan is, I guess, a little bit more relaxed. Slightly relaxed stealth mechanics, slightly more powerful combat. So now you can play each game either way. So you can have the Metro 2033 feel that I think some of the fans really wanted in Last Light and didn't get. You can now play Last Light with that 2033 feel, and we've made sure that by having that survival mode, we've kind of really stayed true to the kind of design aesthetic of 2033, despite putting in all of the Last Light improvements.
And then, of course, Ranger mode is unlocked.
Yeah. So Ranger mode's included. It's not something that we recommend for a first playthrough, because you kind of really need to learn the systems and understand the it's quite a complex control scheme, and you really need the HUD for a first playthrough. But then once you've kind of done that, play through a second time, play in Ranger mode, takes all of the HUD away, it further rebalances the game towards a more hardcore experience. It's definitely the most immersive way to play the game, and that's included in both.
So let's talk a little bit about the team that is working on this in Kiev throughout all these protests that are going on. What it was like for them to devote their time to making this game while also having all this going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that not too many Western studios, I guess, have to deal with. You know,
I don't think any Western studios have to deal with that. No.
You know, that their country is pitched into what first it's like a popular revolution, and just when you think you've kind of got what you wanted, suddenly looks like you might be the starting point for World War III. I mean, it's frightening times for the guys there. They were very involved in the protests. They were out protesting. I told them to keep their heads down once the bullets started flying around, and thankfully they did. But they really wanted to be part of this, what they saw, a very progressive movement and change. And it's still quite frightening times in Kiev. I mean, there are headlines coming out of Ukraine every day. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's an extraordinary set of circumstances they work under anyway, without all of this stuff going on. And I mean, just to give an idea of how they're working, we have to smuggle dev kits out to them in hand baggage. You can't send anything by courier into Ukraine because it gets stopped by customs, and then they'll charge you like basically any figure that they like, because it's
right. It's a corrupt government.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we think this is worth 10,000 euros for a dev kit, so we take the stuff in hand luggage. They've been building the PS4 version on 2 dev kits. One of them I personally took in myself. We were trying to get the Xbox One kits out to them, and we couldn't because this all kicked off in November, December, so they didn't get their actual Xbox One kits until January this year, when things had calmed down a little bit. So I mean, it just gives you an idea of the challenges that they face there.
It's just kind of amazing that these guys are dealing with these real life struggles, that's going on, and they're still finding the time to devote to making this game and making this great for all the fans that are out there. I think that's really, really awesome. All right, great. Well, thank you very much for talking to me. And this is Greg Tita from The Escapist, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.